Okay then, Helldivers, we are back and we've got loads to go over today, as the last 24 hours have been, well, an interesting one, that's for damn sure, as we've got a new major success message coming from Super Earth High Command. While at least at this point in time we await the next major order, we do, on the other hand, have a very interesting turn of events for Penta. Not only that, but actually how it occurred is probably the main topic of conversation for this video. We're going to go over everything you guys need to know today, plus a response from the Baskinator with regards to the way that the game performance is going right now and what it is you should think about it. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be so greatly appreciated. Make sure you check out our incredible sponsor, Instant Gaming, the platform where you can find out video games for PC and console, the best deals, offers, promotions, and discounts, all running up 70% off on old and new games alike. And if you want to check out our giveaway we've got going on the channel for free super credits, we're going to be announcing it for just before when the war bond drops to get you guys that free war bond. Head down to the comment section and just put in a fire emoji in the comments. Why? Well, it'll make sense eventually. Nonetheless, let's dive into the video and see what's happening right now inside of Helldivers 2. So starting off, we received a success message coming from Super Earth High Command, which was an interesting one to say the least. Now it states right here that Operation Free Space has been successfully completed. In a triumph of managed democracy, the Star of Peace has fired upon Penta, collapsing the planet into a black hole and destroying all enemy forces present. The firing of this experimental defensive weapon was a monumental success. However, the DSS sustained damage during the firing process and must be taken offline for repairs for a short period of time. Unlike the illuminate wormhole created on Meridia, this singularity appears to be a conventional black hole with no abnormal phenomena detected. The Ministry of Science will continue to monitor the situation closely. All synthesized dark fluid was spent in the firing. Vast quantities of the E711 were required to create even a small amount of dark fluid, and immense effort will be required to restore it. Nevertheless, this marks the beginning of a new era of galactic security, one of which the enemy's terrible technology can finally be wielded in the name of peace. Penta, a churning milliard of autocracy, has been wiped off the map. In its place shines the everlasting beacon, a message to all who would trespass against democracy. This is the fate of our enemies. Now, interestingly enough, it is pretty cool in terms of the storyline and the way that they've actually weaponized it. Obviously, it means that it can't be used all the time, otherwise there'll just be black holes dotted all over the map, and nobody wants that, especially after the Meridian Singularity. But what is it that you guys got to experience at the time of the event late last night? Well, this right here. Yeah, I know. It was a little bit shocking to me that that is genuinely what they did. I'd have thought that after the Angels Venture debacle about a year ago now, that they would have experienced a little bit of a change up on this one, maybe a 10-second animation, a 5-second animation, or some sort of thing that you guys could see inside of the game to actually have this play. Not only that, but if you were actively live in your Super Destroyer when that happened, you had to restart your game to be able to see it. A little bit of a weird narrative, that is for damn sure, but essentially this is what you're left with now. This is Penta. It's completely gone. And it's got a very strange image on it, actually. If you just Google black hole for me right now and just tell me how far along this exact image is, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just a black hole, but it's a PNG file with stars replicated across the entire galaxy. Nothing is moving. It's actually all completely bland. It's really, really odd to me that this is what we've got, as it's kind of like a step back from Meridia, if you ask me. At least on Meridia, there were loads of audio sounds, audio cues, a lot of crazy stuff going around and things flying through the sky. There was waves coming from Meridia as an overall, and it just aesthetically looked a lot more pleasing. This, for me personally, just looked like a bit of a, let's just put it as a placeholder and see what we end up with. But I want to know what you guys are thinking via the comment section below. I feel like the comment section will be a massive 50-50 split between this, because realistically, I think it was always bound to be. For me, I was not overly impressed with this, and I was really hoping that it was going to lead into more. We are obviously yet to wait for the next major order and hopefully a new major update coming soon, but with the delay of the most recent war bond dropping, it appears to me that everything is going to be pushed back a little bit. In other news, we have got the whole story pushed towards you from Coretta Kelly. Watch this.
Greetings. I'm Coretta Kelly. In a triumphant display of democracy, the Star of Peace has successfully been activated in the defense of Super Earth. The Helldivers voted to defend our citizens by preemptively neutralizing a highly threatening planet harboring known enemies of freedom. The space formerly occupied by the planet is now free from the automaton's collectivist grip. Citizens across the galaxy have been advised to celebrate the newfound era of peace and prosperity ushered in by the Helldivers. That's Liberty's latest. I'm Coretta Kelly.
Now, I love the animations and the cinematics that they put through in terms of Coretta Kelly, and if they'd have just done that when it actually happened, I'd have been so here for it. Like an emergency response unit on the second control, I just think it would have been absolutely incredible. Nonetheless, unfortunately, we got what we got, and it is what it is. Moving forward from that, though, people are seeming to feel like they are not being listened to, as this Reddit post right here seems to be doing well online. States, how long did Redacted Regiment get delayed? Will it at least release this week? I specifically took this week off because of the war bond, and it shows a Helldiver talking to a wall as players and people all over the Super Earth realm do seem to be getting pretty upset, that's for sure. As the community have been essentially messaging through Discord, Reddit, and most sources of social media, wondering what the hell is going on, why it is that the game seems to be in a little bit of peril at the moment, and having such a poor movement, at least for the Star of Peace, and not having it be this really cool cinematic thing that Helldivers is really known for, then having the war bond actually delayed and no real content appearing for the last few months. Community is getting a little bit tired of it, and Baskinator stated that I promise a lot is going on. I understand being frustrated with the turn of events, though, and I do hope we can turn things around and win you back. Now, the game for me is absolutely incredible. My problem kind of resides with the way that it is that the Arrowhead team actually go about their business on a day-to-day and how they release their content these days, and that's mainly my source of a issue in terms of how it is that they go about it. My best way of explaining it has always been Arrowhead, the company that are great at making games and really poor at maintaining them. I think that that's realistically what's happened here with Helldivers 2. An incredible game, just seems to have such a roller coaster ride of a lifeline over the last 2 years as we approach the 2-year anniversary that it kind of leads to question as to whether it's something they can sustain or not. The game will never die because the community love it more than they probably should, but it's still one of those which will frustrate the majority of people nonetheless. But I want to know what your guys' opinions are, so hit me up in the comment section below. I think it's a really, really difficult time to be a Helldiver right now, and I just want to say that there are other games out there if you do feel like taking a break for a couple of days just to refresh the palette and come back. I've been doing it every so often, and it's genuinely helping quite a lot. Nonetheless, moving in, we've got the top comments from the previous video where we went over the devs delaying the Redacted Regiment war bond, and you guys had a lot to say with regards to it. It's been an interesting time going through conversations in that comment section with you. This first one right here states, devs realized that the stealth war bond doesn't make sense because stealth hasn't worked since launch. Now, we do know that there has been a few issues with regards to stealth, the suppression of weapons, and all of the quieter attributes of Helldivers in terms of how it is that it actually plays. We know it doesn't particularly work. Although once upon a time, stealth was a little bit easier to do, it then became a little bit harder, and now it barely feels like it's even a thing. I'm intrigued to see how it is that this all plays out, and when that war bond eventually drops and we have Redacted Regiment in our hands, I'm intrigued to see exactly how it will play out. Let me know your guys' opinions on that in the comment section. This next one states right here, maybe this means the stealth will actually work this time around, which obviously is exactly what you think behind it. Like, it's just something that everyone's thinking right now, and if it's not actually the case, well, then it obviously would lead into more problems, and it's really, really weird, man. I have no idea what they're going to do, and I don't think anybody really does, but it's just where we're at right now. And this last one right here coming from Ultimate Pyromancer states, at least it gives me more time to farm for super credits. Now, that is definitely the case. If you haven't been playing as recently, you probably have run out of super credits, so yeah, it maybe will lead you into the right course. Nonetheless, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. It's been an interesting time to be a Helldiver at the moment. By interesting, I mean absolutely dull. So hopefully they kickstart all of this stuff coming up and we actually have something interesting on the table. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button and subscribe with post notifications turned on. Be greatly appreciated. But as always, up until the next time, I'll see you in the clouds.